What's good, fam? It's Queen Common Sense coming back to you from the Chi-Town, holding it down. Peace, beloved. My aunt, one love, one family, Chi City. Sending out love to you on, what is it, almost the third week of the new year. It's taking off like a rocket. So I hope y'all holding on and buckled in tight, because we finna heal the nation one step at a time. I'm coming back to, I'm gonna feed my sickness today with my fetish of pointing out and exposing this dysfunctional shit that we have been cursed with generation after generation. And I was inspired to do this video by one of my very dear sisters who, she's closer to me than a biological sister. And I haven't even really been able to physically touch her yet. But she has taken me through some of my very dark days. And we've been discussing how, one, with age does not always come wisdom, and two, how our elders, the women of the elders of the village, how they send us the fuck off as their daughters, some nieces, some even granddaughters. And we had a really interesting conversation yesterday about this, and it really opened up a lot of doors and confirmed a lot of things for me, because, you know, as a child growing up, when you're already awake, you're not quite aware, but you're awake, and it seems as if you're the only one. Now, especially with girls. This is a little bit different with girls than boys. But I'm going to touch on the men in the next one. And then, too, I might be on this motherfucker for a while. So, fellas, I'm getting to you. All love and respect. But it's a little different with girls. And because I'm a woman, I'm going to holler at my little goddesses first, if you don't mind. So, please bear with me, gentlemen. All love to you, all respect due. Because I know the dysfunction fucks with y'all too, and it takes a different kind of toll on our brothers and our men. So we gonna get there, and I appreciate your patience. But it's very interesting how this female elder, supposed to be sage wisdom, has sent us off to a whole nother left field with the dysfunctional triangulation, infestation that these possessed individuals do. And we all know it's Esau. And as I said before, Esau needs a host. The entity of Esau needs a host. A host to envelop, to continue to manifest the evil and feed the beast of dysfunction. So y'all with me? And I was talking to my sister, and I was explaining to her just how deep the goddamn sickness goes. It's not just a physical sickness, and the behavior has nothing to do with anything else but an emotional and mental tie to the addiction, to causing and inflicting as much unrest and disease to the individuals in question, which are the light children. And we as young little girls, we are awake, but we are not aware to just how deep rooted this disgusting, demented shit is. Because the key to this type of manipulation and twisted programming is to keep you in the dark, keep you passive, keep you unsure, insecure, and self-loathing and self-doubting, just like your perpetrator, who is 9 times out of 11 your mama. Now, the reason why they do this is because most have not quite developed mentally, because they are riding on the coattails of victory of those before them who have laid the groundwork of freedom, equality, and had us as a people, as a nation, get the recognition of human. I don't know if that makes sense. So y'all keep up with me, because as it comes, I'm going to go. And if you got questions, you got to have to rewind, because I'm not going to be able to go back. So, because this is a generational type of disease, this dysfunction within our women and our women children, it's passed down almost like an heirloom. Almost as if it's a rite of passage to keep our little young goddesses and little young queens in the dark as to who they really were born to be. And it's a mission and a duty of this evil to oppress, confuse, and conflict the minds of their very own offspring. Why? Because it satisfies and feeds the sickness of the individual, who is, yes, the mama. And this sometimes is very subconscious. We don't know as mothers, and they don't know as mothers, guardians of that soul that was lent to you in the form of your child. Subconsciously, they don't even know. That's what they're doing. That's how tricky Esau is. That's how quickly you can allow this possession, this demonic force to come in, and you don't even recognize your habitual predatory behavior has taken over and started to embed itself in your legacy, which is your daughter. Because we've been programmed to believe that, well, mama did it, granny did it, I was told these things, so I'm going to tell my daughter these same mythical, superstitious, twisted nursery rhyme, old wise tales filled with drama, emotionalism, and peppered with a little bit of fear for control purposes. So I hope y'all with me so far, because it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm gonna have to put it down to you. Now, the twisted part comes in when you move from the status of being awake, and you start to become aware, and you might be the only child as a young woman, or you might have older siblings. You might have younger siblings. You might be the middle child. But the magical number is the youngest child, usually, or the only child, usually. In these particular situations, you can see that it's just something not quite right with the rest of these motherfuckers. And I see something that's out of order and out of sync and off balance, but you just can't quite put your finger on it. You know it. You see it. You've pointed it out. Yet the rest of the tribe feels that it's not them, it's you. But you're the only one that's in order. You're the only one that you just seem like just something ain't quite right. You're the only one willing and brave and bold enough to break that curse and step outside of that boundary of control and really speak on it. And then after a while, you begin to tire and second guess yourself and wonder, maybe it is just me. And you can't quite figure out why, other motherfuckers on the outside can't see this same evil possession and sickness within this entity who is assigned to you as your mama. So then you begin to bow down. You begin to give in. And you begin to allow yourself to be pulled back into this maddening hamster wheel of dysfunction. Because you just can't seem to crack the shell. You just can't seem to open anyone else's eyes for validation and verification. That just shit just ain't right. So, once you get back in that wheel and it's spinning uncontrollably, and you know that you are the only one that recognizes this emotional, mental, and spiritual imbalance, you are in the most emotional and spiritual pain behind the slanted, disrespectful, dysfunctional, one-sided behavior and interaction with your family. And no matter how you try to break free and how you live your life, it's always something, some type of vice they use to try to control you and lure you back into this death trap. It's a spiritual death trap. That's what dysfunction is. It will spiritually murder you. When you know you're dead is when you know you become a drone. And you give in, you give up, and you just repeat, regurgitate, and reiterate the same dysfunctional shit down the line to your legacies, your cubs, your daughters. That's how you know you're dead. I'm just letting you know. You start to emulate and repeat and recycle the same old mythological bullshit that your mamas taught you and they mamas taught you. If they're not awake, if they're not aware, if they're not conscious. And then you look back and go, God damn it, I'm turning into my mama. I sound just like her. Think about it, ladies. Now, I'm going to try to keep this clean and rated PG because, you know, I want my babies to hear this. I want my 10, 9, 11 preteen, tween, teens, and young goddesses and young queens in college age on up to hear it. So I'm going to try to keep it PG, mamas. You know, I know y'all don't like my mouth and the filth that you say is profanity come out. So I do really want this to touch my baby girls. So I'm going to try to be careful, but fuck the cussing. Listen to the message. So, we begin to recycle the same bullshit that our mamas teach us. We don't know no different. Because no one wants to really step in and give us the information and the data that is truly accurate and correct in feeding and nurturing that spirit who is a separate entity of the mama. See, they want to turn us into mini-me. They want to program and feed and shape and mold us into younger versions of them. And most of them are very upset and very displeased and miserable within themselves based on the choices they made. Whether it be the nigga they chose to marry and felt like they were stuck to just because they say I do. Yet they kept cranking out, cheering, hoping that that would give the nigga a can of act right. And then when we grow up to look at who our parents really and truly are, we don't know from whence we came. Because they're totally different people. They're just shells of who they once were of their own youth And then we have found so many skeletons within their closet, and they have hypocrisized themselves down the line so much by the time when we grown, we done met about 15, 25 other siblings, and then goddamn near married one of them. They hiding so much here. But they constantly programming us on what not to do and how not to think and who not to socialize with. Huh? It's very important to pay attention to this, because there are professional gatekeepers of secrets of evil, and you have to be aware of this. And they're not doing it to protect you. They're doing it to cover up and conceal the secret of Esau, and to cover up and protect that curse, and how that curse manifests itself to possess and own and identify the light worker, the supernova of the legacy of the mama, which will be the youngest child or the middle child, the one that's aware. You feel me? You see how it all connect? So, we have to pay attention to this. It's tricky. It'll catch you before you know it. You have your babies, and then pretty soon your babies and you will be repeating the same curse that your mama and grandmama passed down. Our elders sometimes tell us, and they send us the fuck off, these bitter, evil, mean, twisted, black-hearted bitches. They turn around and tell us, we want to see you happy. We want you to do what I didn't have the opportunity to do. That's bullshit. That's a trick. Because inside, they take the facts and the data and the information that is necessity for a young woman to know about herself. And they take that information and flip it and twist it into something evil and ugly, taboo. And they tell you, don't talk about it, don't touch on, don't bring that up, don't do that. Because a lady is no different from a child. In their mind, this is what they think, and you better to be seen and not heard. You a motherfucking decoration. You just sit there, look pretty, and listen to what the fuck I tell you, and you do what I say so you can hook a man, get married, have children, and turn into an isolated, twisted, conflicted, empty-headed bubblehead like me. Because I don't know myself. I have no knowledge of self, so I have nothing to offer you, my daughter. So I'm going to offer you what the fuck I was given, instead of doing the research and the homework on yourself, your DNA, your mental and spiritual makeup, and paying attention. They just recycle, remix, and re-verify the evil that Esau dropped off on us when we was robbed, trafficked, kidnapped, and displaced from our mother nature, our motherland. It goes back that far, yeah. And it's genetic, some of it, because we were taken and our families and tribes were separated. Then they began to breed us like dogs, then cats, right? Then they began to take and displace and implant us on different parts of this continent. So our genetic makeup was of sibling relations. You feel me? Then we began to intertwine, inbreed, and crossbreed. And that just When you mix up those things, that DNA, that creates monsters. It creates more evil. And if you're not understanding knowledge of self and your lineage and your selective procreation and selective partnering up of the mixture of the genes and the tribes and the bloodline, you create a lot of fucking problems. Hence, a mixture like me, I'm the result. Native American, French, Spanish, Haitian, Jamaican, as well as European, which is what they labeled as Creole. Ain't that some shit? So, we have to think about that when we are training up our goddesses, our little queens. We have to make sure we're completely honest and we keep accurate records of all of that. We have to study our past, study the things that go on within our family, within the privacy of our four walls. And you know that mantra that we was taught, what goes on in my home stays in my motherfucking home. Some shit need to be revealed. It needs to be cross-referenced and fact-checked. So, that's the start of how Esau has taken over and began to infest and infect the minds of our women. Because what do I say? A nation only rises as high as her woman. And we need to break this goddamn cycle of dysfunction. I'm here to heal the nation and drop off this goddamn message. I'm telling you, my eye is fucking with me. So y'all can listen and heed or not. Now that's just part one of how our female elders send us the fuck off. And they're not raising women to be the being and the light workers and the nation within a nation that we supposed to be. They raising us to be the most oppressed, the most demented, the most sick, bitter, inwardly miserable motherfuckers, because they themselves have no knowledge of self. They don't understand their bloodline, their lineage, their ancestors, and how great and civilized of a bloodline we've come from, especially the melanated woman. We are Mother Africa right here. We carry a nation within our womb without even knowing it. And it's being spiritually reprogrammed and spiritually turned upside down by our elders who are implanting the filth and disease and unrest within us so that we cannot emerge and manifest into the supernovas that we were chosen to be. So now, I'm tired now. I'm going to leave it there. And I'll be back with part 2. I'm going to collect myself, regroup, and I'll come back to you with the dysfunction and how our female elders send us off. And I'm going to tie it up and show you just how sick this shit is. Maat, Hotep, one love, one family, one nation. Peace out.